the season. And Michael Jordan, Jerry West, Bernard King, the only others to have ever pulled this off. Knicks 121, Pacers 117, and of course it mattered a little bit more when you score. What was it, over 20 of them in the fourth quarter? That's some heater, but it's like he chose when it was time to get hot.
Yeah, there were some big-time basketball games last night. How do you not watch that Knicks Indianapolis game and not think of 20 years ago with Reggie Miller and Patrick Ewing? I guess that was 95. It would have been 30 years ago. But yeah, that was fun. The refs in both these games are kind of, I don't know if they're letting them play. They just don't have control of it. You got Jamal Murray throwing heating pads on the side of during play. You got the Denver coach coming out and just berating a ref. The ref kind of knew he missed it, didn't even call a tech on him.
Admitted it afterwards too, that they missed that call.
Right, but you can't let the coach. You missed the call, that's okay. That the coach can't come out there and do that. You have to tee him up, have control of the game. And then there was a couple missed calls too in the Knicks Pacers games that are just blatant. But as far as the basketball goes, man, it's been really good basketball. A lot of young stars. It's a young man's game. There's no question about it. That's why I look at this USA Olympic team. I know there's a couple young guys, but they got a lot of old heads on there too. But you see the spring is sprung. You see who can get, who's athletic, who can go, and that's the teams that are left in the playoffs.
You felt that there's a changing of the guards as far as some of the old guard coming through. Hey, who's your boy that threw the heating pad?
Jamal Murray. He's the Canadian. I didn't even think they could get angry. But he's getting done in.
Get angry.
No, hey Phil. If your C Unit called it first, and I wrote after watching Game 1, I said if I was Denver, I would be really nervous about this series going forward. They didn't have the reigning 3-time Defensive Player of the Year because he's off, the birth of his son, and that was the best defensive game they played in the playoffs.
Isn't that interesting how that works out?
Well, everybody kind of comes together. You have to be on top of it because you don't have your help, and it's the play. All the things going in. Denver looks tired. Minnesota looks young and fresh. Denver looks like they've been going and battling. They made the run last year, going through. They do not look. I think Denver put a fork in them. 0% chance that they come back and beat Minnesota.
You got to be pretty fired up for Thunders and Mavs to start today, right? Hey, you got Arkansas players on both sides, not just former Razorbacks, but kids who are from the state, not just guys who are sitting the bench, but playing really important minutes. I guess we kind of expected that this sort of this matchup could have happened when Gafford was traded from Washington to Dallas, and now here it is. You have a favorite in that series, Matt?
I'm gonna take Kyrie and Luka. Although Luka, they're saying his knee's so messed up that he's really out there on one leg too. And if that's the case, they're not gonna get past the young strapping, Oklahoma City barking dogs Thunder. But they're gonna be tough. I'll be honest with you, Phil. I watched the playoffs last year. I start watching basketball around Christmas and watch a little bit. I haven't really seen Oklahoma City play a lot. I mean, it's just how. So we'll get to watch them play. Watching them play against New Orleans. That New Orleans, it was not a playoff team. It's a play-in team without Zion Williamson. So you're like, well, that's like the Pacers beating the Bucks. It's like they didn't have Dame Lillard and Giannis. It doesn't really, you're kind of like, it doesn't, it's not really a playoff. So this would be who was tested more in the first round. The Mavericks were, getting past Clippers. So this would be a real test. If everybody's healthy, if Luka's healthy and Kyrie, I got the Mavs getting through.
Well, that would be the older team, right? Because who's the youngest of all the teams that are still in it? Wait, is it Oklahoma City, isn't it?
It would have to be Oklahoma City. I think Minnesota only has 2 guys over the age of 30, and one of them is Mike Conley on the roster. Oklahoma City is another team like that.
I don't know if you've watched enough hockey to comment that Canadians don't get angry. There are enough goons that came out of Canada that at least on the ice played in a very angry way. It is more of a laid-back society, though. I will give you that. I'll definitely give you that. B.E.'s the one who pointed out it's not the only angry Canadians, B.E. There have to be Canadians that play in the CFL. I mean, you're going to have to play that game with at least a little bit of controlled anger.
The last league MVP to get swept in the playoffs?
Who?
because they said the Joker, he might get the league MVP
Right,
this
right.
year. The Joker in 2021
Really?
got swept in the playoffs. Yeah.
You
I don't see there's any. Michael Porter's always been fool's gold. You put a little heat on him, a little pressure. He looks the part. He's creative player, but you really get down to him, you don't. He's a C+ player, and so it's you got him out there. They don't have anything else. Denver is Aaron Gordon. He was out there when he hit 2 threes in the first quarter and they were still down 8. You're like, oh, it's going to be a long day because he doesn't hit 2 threes all playoff series.
You really sound like you love watching these games. You really enjoy the NBA postseason. If I were to put that up against the NCAA tournament, the NBA postseason lasts what, a couple weeks longer, maybe 2 or 3 weeks longer. Do you like watching the series-based postseason, or do you like the tournament-based postseason the way that college does it?
I like greatness. I like people that are really good at their craft. I like people that put the time in and people that can get it done, people that understand. The thing I love about you watched Minnesota play last night, Phil. Their help defense, the way they rotate, the way they played for one another, it is just – you don't see that in the regular season, and you don't see that with all the teams. You kind of see bits and pieces here and there, but that's the thing. When it gets down to the playoffs, you really see these guys. They strap in, they buckle in, they get down, and they really – if you had promotion and relegation, regular season would mean something. Regular season doesn't mean anything. It's just about getting into the tournament. But if you were to say, okay – in America, when you're the worst team, you get the number 1 pick in the sport. In Europe, when you're the worst team, you go play in a different league, and then we'll bring somebody. It's 2 totally different scenarios. Regular season doesn't mean much.
Well, you do want to get home court advantage, right? You at least want that because that means something. That's supposed to mean something in every sport. It's really supposed to mean something in basketball.
The Cleveland series, the home team won every single game. So you're right.
Yeah, but go tell the Nuggets that now, right?
They're in trouble. They need to call Don Tyson. Or John Tyson.
I don't even know if some Dino Nuggets can help them out all that much.
They need some help.
Hey, they got the Walmart connection over there in Denver. Why not? I don't even know who owns the Nuggets, but I know who owns the Broncos. You get a little synergy. They call that synergy when companies work together like that.
Nuggets look tired. You think about having home court advantage, Phil. That's a good point. You're the Denver Nuggets, Mile High. Anybody who's ever played sports and then you go play in Denver, you know that third quarter hits, the monkey jumps on your back when you're not used to it. Minnesota looked young, looked fresh, looked ready to go. Denver looked tired and old, like they're ready to go home. It just If you've watched those first 2 games, I don't even see a lifeline for the Nuggets.
I don't like feeling tired, and I've been feeling tired for a couple of weeks because of all the travel and all the games that Arkansas baseball's been playing. And it really sounded like, from what Dave Van Horn told the Swatters Club yesterday, that he even saw that in his players' eyes. But you don't have to worry about that now because, hey, they weren't even allowed to be inside the Hunt Center yesterday. I talked with Christian Fouch for Bases Loaded, Arkansas reliever, and he said, hey, he got in a little bit of a workout, and then he was told to leave. Like, get out of here. That fob that gets you in here, you can take that with you, but don't use it. It's like, what would you do if you showed up to get ready for the radio show and all of a sudden you were told to get out of the studios today?
That'd be like your Kentucky. You go into Kentucky, like, no, you can't do the show here. You can't do the show here.
Yeah, that's right. No, you can't do that here today. The only thing is it'll be their own coaches, their own people telling them, get out of here. We don't even want you here today. Oh, yeah, we want you to work hard, just not today and not tomorrow. Just get back to this. Get back with us on Wednesday.
It's a good problem to have as coaches, and you see it happen. It's like, hey, man, get away. Just get away for 24. The coaches know. That they've been through it. The kids are a little younger. Van Horn's been through this point in the season how many times now? 25 times almost. He knows what's expected and what's about to happen, the grind and the energy and effort. And then the fact that he can do that, I think he likes his team and he knows they're putting work in. You're not having to beg them to come up here and get BP. They're working. It's good. Hey, this is probably what their last break they'll get. And then once they get going, man, it's going to be here.
So, there's a correlation between, like, even how we're talking about the NBA regular season to the postseason and the college baseball regular season to the postseason. Because what it's about, and this is a heck of a lot different than March Madness, outside of the women's side of March Madness, because the first 2 rounds are campus sites. You want to play at home. That's what it's all about. Yeah, win the game that's in front of you, beat the opponent that's in front of you, win your division if you can, win your league if you can. But it's the same ideas in March Madness. You're just trying to get yourself the best seed so that you get the best possible setup to make a run to the Final Four. That's what the baseball postseason in college is all about, ensuring that you play at home. It's when you're a program like Arkansas and you're not one of the programs that annually has to scratch and claw and worry about being on the bubble, and you're just happy to make it into the tournament and travel if you have to. This is a program that annually now is very much used to playing at home. And that usually is supposed to pay dividends at a place where they've won all but 2 games this year. So, yeah. And by playing at home, you also ensure yourself a little more rest. There's a couple of spots where there's rest even before the regional would start. And it started yesterday by kicking the guys out of the Hunt Center and carrying that through today. And then there's a lot of intensity over the next really 2 weeks, essentially, before you get to Hoover, because you got 6 games that are going to decide the SEC championship, the regular season, and the division, and then we're always annually, Matt, we are the first team to make it to Hoover for the SEC tournament. We'll play at 2:00 in the afternoon at A&M on a Saturday, like next Saturday, and then we'll fly to Hoover and we'll be there before anybody else. And they won't even play until Wednesday. That Sunday, that is the single most chill day of the entire year. Because today, it's still finals week. When I talked with Fauci, he had just finished a business final. The guys are taking tests this week. And to those who always like to text it and say, yeah, they're really students, everything. Yes, they actually are. They are taking tests this week. They don't have to do that when they're in Hoover. It literally is just and then they'll work out a little bit for the next couple of days. And when you're finished with Hoover, when you travel back to Arkansas, you don't have to hustle up and make another trip to go somewhere the way that they're playing. That's important this time of the year. Very important. So I think they'll get a couple of other moments to rest and sort of like refocus for what's ahead of them, because it's all coming up ahead of them very, very soon. And here's what's up ahead of you on halftime today. It's Usual Tuesday, which includes Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in hour number 3. In about an hour, we'll talk with Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation, who I think has had a week or so without Mike Irwin in the PTN offices. So I don't know if she's had to play the grumpy one or whatever. I don't know. Barrett is coming up in just a moment, plus your calls and texts as we go throughout the show today on the McClarty Daniel hotline. So it's all there in front of us. Rest and relaxation at halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Back in Dave Van Horn's playing days, what walk-up song would you walk out to going to the batter's box?
Do I have to use music from the 70s and early 80s?
Anything you want. The floor is yours.
Back then, it was probably REO Speedwagon, wasn't it?
That'd be a good one. Don't miss The Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Sportsmith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
We're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state. Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the A. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the Hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub and Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I don't care what they think about me. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they think. If you to leave, I'm gonna beg you to stay. I don't care if they start to avoid me. I don't care what they do. I don't care about anything else but being with you, being with you.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
We have the one and only Chuck Barrett with us here on Halftime, voice of the Razorbacks. Always appreciate his time on Halftime. He'll join us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline for the next couple of segments. Morning, Chuck. What's new?
Well, just looking forward to being on with you guys, I guess.
Yeah. You must be.
I guess that's what's new. Yeah.
Well, there's not much. We do this every week. There's nothing too new about it, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's the first time I've felt that way. That's what
Hey, you've
no,
got.
I'm joking.
You've got to really be enjoying watching the Knicks and Brunson. I know Matt's kind of brought it up with you intermittently over the last few months while the regular season was going on, and now when the spotlight is as hot as it can get, he's putting on the kind of performance that we haven't seen since MJ in '93.
He's awfully good, man. He's good. Anthony Edwards is good from Minnesota, and those guys are. They're putting on a show. I mean, the Knicks and the Pacers played a great game last night, and I mean, Minnesota's just run Denver out of the building 2 straight games now in Denver. So evidently they're the real deal.
And that's a good question because, Anthony Edwards is 6'3". He's listed at 6'4". It means he's 6'3". I'd like to see what his combine height is. Who would you take, Chuck, if it's Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson? To me, Anthony Edwards is more of a D Wade. He's not, he's not 6'7", but he's so athletic. Maybe like even a Stevie Franchise, if you remember Steve Francis. Either way, you have to enjoy it, and he's so fun to watch, and he's going to be around for a while. Both of those kids are.
Yeah, I mean, they're great players. These guys come into the league at such a young age now that sometimes it takes 2 or 3 years for them to really, begin to understand everything that's going on around them. And, I think about, the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for Oklahoma City. I mean, he was, a year at Kentucky, and then bang, he's in the NBA. I mean, he's in the NBA like 19 or so. And it just takes these guys a few years, I think, or at least a couple of years. It doesn't take long for them to get their legs underneath them. But once they figure out the game and, they fully, physically mature, I mean, there's some great players out there. You could tell Edwards when that year he spent at Georgia, you could tell he was going to be good. But, the guys, and it shows how good they are at projecting. They projected him then to be what he is now. If you watched him in that year, you'd think, nah, probably not. But those guys know what they're doing.
Hey, so we got a series that's starting today that involves Razorbacks on both sides with the Mavs and the Thunder. And, you look at Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams, Daniel Gafford, guys that they continue to get better. I mean, every year. And what Gafford's done moving over to a contender in the Mavs, he's grabbing a lot of people's attention. But these guys were all second-round picks. They didn't have the guaranteed contract. They didn't have the weight of the first-round pick, which usually gets a little extra room to, kind of hang themselves if they can. And it says a lot about, I guess, their professionalism, because that's what it seems to be from all three of them. Aside from the athleticism and good teamwork, they just seem to be good professionals.
Well, they're great teammates, and I think that's the first thing you can say about all of them. Gafford kind of reminds me, and Matt, you may remember Andrew Lang. And by that I mean all of a sudden you're going to look up, and these guys have played 10 or 12 years in the NBA. Perhaps never an all-star, on contending teams, maybe move around to 4 or 5 different teams by the time it's all said and done. But guys who become good, solid NBA professional basketball players. I think Gafford certainly fits that mold. I think Jalen Williams and Isaiah Joe fit that mold. I think Gafford's a big key to this series because, to me, the one area, maybe the only area where Oklahoma City is vulnerable is with Holmgren. I mean, can you push him around? And can you do some things against – and I just think Gafford's going to be a big part of that. Both those guys are going to try to run the floor, and I think Gafford can outrun him.
Yeah. It's tough to outrun Gafford. It's tough to outrun and outleap him once he gets a head start.
I mean, what do you think about that, Matt? What do you think about that, Gafford in this series?
No, I think you're right. His athletic ability, and another one that Bobby Portis is another guy that you were mentioning.
Yeah, you're right.
Just
you're
like
right.
that, just goes to work and kind of keeps his mouth shut and shows up and plays. Has a smile on his face. He could be the missing piece, Chuck, as far as helping them get over this series. Chet doesn't like to bang down low. Now, Williams does, the Arkansas kid that knows how to take charges. Dallas is really going to space the floor out with Kyrie and Luka and get them on high pick and rolls, and it's going to be how they help, how they come over if they get a body on them. I would not be surprised, Chuck, if Gafford has averages a double-double in this series.
Wow.
There you have it. I mean, I take what he says about basketball and soccer and football usually, and take it right to the bank. Hey, so you got Thiero that has now committed to play for Arkansas, 6'8", 220-pound forward, third year. I like that he's played for a couple years in the SEC. there's Adu, and you have Jonas Adu. At some point, Chuck, there's going to be an Adu to Adu, and it'll happen quite a bit. But it's another situation where it's another one of Cal's guys that's coming to play for him. And you've got apparently John Rothstein reported earlier this morning that DJ Wagner is going to be visiting Arkansas this weekend. And I know there's other schools that are in on him, but when that kind of stuff gets out, usually it means that we almost start to expect the commitments when they're visiting now.
Well, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think anybody who's been here is committed to anybody else. I don't think the kid from Oklahoma State ever actually visited here. I might be wrong on that. My point is I think that they've got a pretty good shot with anybody that they bring in here. And I like the fact that the latest one is familiar with Calipari's system, that Thiero's familiar with, how it's going to be on a daily basis. That helps everybody. And, he's one of these guys that he's going to rebound for you. He's going to, I would guess, be the type guy that, you'd hope for maybe 8 or 10 points out of and, maybe half a dozen rebounds. I think he could be a player like that based on what, the sample size we've got, from the time he was at Kentucky. So, but yeah, he's just another guy that, you just expect to see in a Kentucky uniform, and he's going to be wearing a Razorback uniform now.
Well, and also, this has kind of been a theme. It's been a month, I think, since Cal signed with Arkansas. And, just if we're just looking at the star rankings of these guys, it's a different level of talent, I think, than we've been used to even at Arkansas, where you've had a high level of talent for a long, long time. They're kind of going to be fighting for playing time, it seems. I mean, they've got 5 scholarships left. You got high-end talent that's already committed, whether they're incoming freshmen or guys that have already, all SEC first team or an AU, and, guys who started 19 games for Kentucky last year in Thiero. So it's not like you're bringing in backups. It's, just an incredible amount of talent, and it feels like they will really have to battle to get on the court.
Well, I think this is a typical Cal team. The only difference is you're going to have transfer portal guys as opposed to 5, McDonald's All-American and 5-star freshmen. I don't think he's ever had a team where you didn't have to battle for playing time. And I don't suspect it'll be that way now. It's all a numbers game. But if you've got 10, 12 guys that everybody in America wanted, there's a pretty good chance, 5, 8 of them are going to work out. So, that's that's what he's been able to do. So, there's an incredible collection of talent. I can remember the night, that he was introduced. I had a friend that said, how many of them, and by them he meant, just all the players out there you'd want. How many of them do you think we can get? My immediate answer is we're going to get all of them. And I still think that.
I like one of the things I saw. This must have been about 7-8 years ago, Chuck. But he had all the guys coming into Kentucky, and they were doing a behind the scenes. And he said, "All right, how much did you average last year?" And the kid's like 26, and they're all high school guys. They all averaged over 20 points. And then he rolls out there and he looks. He's like, "That's one basketball." You're all going to have to find your roles out here because everybody's not going to average what you average in high school. That's one basketball and all this collection of talent. And it's starting that mindset there. It's like, look, if you're going to get on the floor, what can you do to be a complete basketball player?
It's new to us, not new to them. He's brought his whole staff with him. Bunch of guys who've played for him are coming. People who've had relationships with him or their families have for a number of years are coming to play for him. Again, it's new to us. But all that's happened is he's changed addresses. It's just happening here as opposed to Kentucky, and before that Memphis. So I don't mean to oversimplify it, and I'm not trying to make it sound as though we shouldn't be impressed by it because I certainly am. But I think for them it's just another year. It's just another year of assembling a team.
Hey, Chuck's with us for another segment. We can take phone calls on the McLarty Daniel hotline if you want to get on. The number is 877-377-6963. Stay with us. Halftime right back after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Hey guys, don't be that dad without life insurance. When thanks to Ethos, you can be that great dad with life insurance to help keep his family living exactly like they do now. Secure and protected in the event of the unexpected. With a fast and easy online experience, some policies as low as $1 a day and up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Just a few health questions. Ethos makes getting life insurance protection hassle-free. E for easy, E for Ethos at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hi, this is Garen Armstrong with Shamrock Roofing and Construction. That small roofing company my father started 45 years ago has now become one of the largest roofing companies in America by following one rule, the golden rule. No one can install a better roof at a better price, a better warranty than Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Let our local family serve your family. Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Call today or visit us online at shamrockroofer.com.
The Party Place has everything you need for special occasions. Graduation, Cinco de Mayo, Memorial Day, a luau, you name it.
Pre-order your balloons now for the month of May.
Mother's Day, baby showers, party supplies for 1 to 100.
Locations in the Conway and Fort Smith.
The Party Place in the Tuesday Morning Building behind Ashley Furniture in Fort Smith.
Get ready for your party at the Party Place.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at precisiondoornwa.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle. Also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle. 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith. 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Evan Cohen here from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio for True Green. Are you ready to elevate your lawn game without breaking the bank? True Green has been the trusted choice for over 2 million homeowners for over 50 years. Visit TrueGreen.com and discover the easiest and affordable way to achieve a pro-level lawn guaranteed. Plus, enjoy True Green's verified price matching, ensuring you get the best lawn for the best price. Visit TrueGreen.com and transform your lawn effortlessly. That's TrueGreen.com. Your dream lawn is just around the corner.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
What I want,
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, with us as well on the McClarty Daniel hotline. We got him for one more segment here, and Big Keith has called in to talk with you, Chuck. I don't know if he's called in to talk with us or not. Big Keith in the house. How you doing, Big Keith? What's new?
Hey, Big Keith up in the house. How's everybody doing today?
Better now,
Doing
thank
great,
you.
Keith.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Hey, I have a question for you, if you don't mind, for Chuck too. Who do you think's going to make it to the top? Either World Series or championship or whatever. The basketball, baseball, or football team? Who's going to do that first? And do you think the baseball team's bats are going to start coming alive? And that's about all I had today. You guys have a good day.
Okay. Well.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I think they've got a chance this year in baseball.
I do
mean, I
too.
think they've got a chance right now. So I guess that would be my prisoner of the moment answer, because I think they've got that type team. I know the weekend in Lexington didn't end the way that they hoped it would, but I wouldn't get too worried about that.
Well, so this is the thing about being in first place right now and being in the position that they're at. First place, 3 designated hitter starters over the weekend, 3 left field starters over the weekend, 2 guys in center field, and it even sounds right now like they're thinking about changing one spot in the starting rotation potentially this weekend, maybe not. But that really didn't necessarily sound like what you would expect would be going on with a first-place team.
Well, one of the things that I wondered about, and you're around it, and I'm not, but when they came out of that Florida series, I guess it was, and I'm looking at the week ahead, and they've got 2 games with Missouri State. They got a night game and a day game. Then they travel on Thursday. They play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. In my mind, just, as an observer, I'm thinking, that may catch up to them by Sunday. Now, I know that some of the other issues are, bigger picture issues, and you're trying to make certain that you've got all the pieces right where you want them going into the postseason. I always thought this time of year that, there were, you're past the point where you have the luxury of plugging guys in left and right. I mean, you gotta pick who your guys are, and you gotta go. And this may be the last weekend for them to do that. I don't know. They know better than I do, but I don't really think there's any reason to start doing a whole lot with a starting rotation. Again, you're closer than I am. The only thing I see from the outside looking in that concerns me is outfield defense. I think that's an area where a hot bat's not just enough to get you into the lineup, or at least keep you in the lineup. You can't be giving up outs and throwing to the wrong base and having things happen in big ball games. That's the only area, and again, I'm just an observer, but that's kind of what I see.
Yeah, I mean, I see the same thing. I mean, there's an expectation if you're a corner outfielder that you're going to hit. You're not necessarily expected to, take away runs from the opponent, but you can't give them runs. That kind of happened this last weekend on Saturday, and, that was the ball on the left field fence. Lovich kind of runs into the fence. That's happened to him a couple times before that this year, and that really is where the series swung.
Well, there are little things, too, like throwing to the wrong base or making sure you throw to the right base. I'm not saying it was a weekend filled with throwing to the wrong base. That's not what I was suggesting. I'm saying that you're to the time of the season now where you got to throw to the right base every time. You got to take the perfect angle, particularly on base hits to the outfield, every time. And because if you don't, it's very likely to cost you a game. And those are the little things. I've thought all year long that their infield defense was at a championship level. I'm not concerned about their starting pitching the way some people are. I think there's an ebb and a flow to that. But I've the one thing this year, I'd like to see him shore up that outfield defense a little bit.
So Bubba asked me yesterday if I thought Hagen Smith is the most dominant starter since I've been doing the games. The only other pitcher I can think of was Isaiah Campbell in 2019. I mean, the Blaine Knight had the 14-0 record. I wouldn't have put him in the dominant category. It's just the team played so well when he was there, and I think that was reflective upon how he competed. Zay in 2019 was really, really dominant. But, this is an outlier season, though. I mean, you saw Nick Schmidt, you saw Jess Todd, Keuchel, great starting pitchers. Is there anything that you saw that kind of compares to the dominance, that word that Hagen has displayed this year?
Well, you dominate in different ways now than you did then. Yeah. David Walling was a great pitcher when Arkansas won the SEC in '99. It's a power game now. It's a game about 14 strikeouts in 6 innings. Have I seen someone that did that consistently? Well, no. But in the way the game was played then, that's not how the game was pitched then. It's a power game now, and I'm not being critical. We didn't have guys back then. Arkansas in the first, I want to say like 10 years that I did the baseball games, I think they had one guy that was in the 90s, and that was Dan Wright. And, and now everybody's got them. So it's a different game. You pitch batters differently. Hitters swing for the fences on every swing now. I mean, it's all about launch angle and analytics, and there aren't as many tough outs in baseball as there used to be. So it's hard to compare. For me, Walling, Schmidt, and then Smith. Todd did it some. He was not as consistent as those other guys were. So those would be the three most dominant in no particular order. I think any of them would have excelled in whichever era you put them in.
All right, so I want to get back to basketball here with you because just a couple of players that we brought up and some folks had wondered, will they come back to Arkansas? Were they the guys that were in the room or in the locker room when Cal referenced speaking to, the team? And I think there were 3 of them, and that would have been a month ago. Caleb Battle is now committed to Gonzaga. Devo goes to Oklahoma State. And and Layden Blocker to DePaul. I don't know if Battle had much of a chance to come back, but I think with Devo and Blocker, potentially they did. But turned out not to work like that.
Yeah, Devo was one of the 3 at that meeting the night that Cal was introduced. Blocker was not. So I didn't ever think Blocker would be back. I was hopeful, frankly, that Devo would come back. That was just a personal feeling. I was hopeful that, but it didn't work out. So I wish him well at Oklahoma State. He's not a Razorback today. He certainly will be remembered as a Razorback, but certainly he gave us a lot of great moments, and I hate to see him go.
I think Battle will, speaking of somebody who's going to do well in Gonzaga and Mark Few, Chuck, it's not as athletic of a conference out there. I think Battle, I think he's going to shine.
It's all about shots with Caleb. I remember last year, early in the year, when one of the reporters, everybody was just kind of getting accustomed to the team, and I think Battle had a good night in non-conference play, and somebody asked Muss, does he have the green light? Muss says, well, he thinks he does. And that's always been my deal with Battle. That's going to be the interesting thing at Gonzaga is how many shots does he get?
No, you got to rein him in. That's 100% factual, and kind of to what I was saying. He most of the time in that conference where he's going, the veteran that he is, he's gonna be the most athletic player on the floor.
I'm sure that's true.
Nights. Yeah,
I'm sure that's true, and I would imagine he would have some big scoring nights in that league.
Well, it'd be kind of fun staying up late if you can. If you have a little problem falling asleep and watch him against St. Mary's, because those are always really good games when those two schools get together. They were this past year. And I'm sure we'll have a chance to see Caleb put up a lot of shots in those 2 games. Chuck, we'll leave it there. Always appreciate you hopping on. Thank you very much.
Let's go, Knicks.
Good week.
All right, Chuck.
All right, let's go Knicks, baby.
It's Chuck Barrett, voice of the Razorbacks. You can, of course, hear him on the Morning Rush 3 times a week. You can also download the Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast on hitthatline.com, and he joins us every Tuesday on Halftime.
You got to see, Phil, whenever you when you get into New York should be able to host another couple games. I don't know how long this series ago. I think they get by. They play Boston, but the star power. You know, we talk about L.A. looking at when you got the playoffs and looking, you see so and so and so. The Knicks got some star power too. Stephon Marbury was out there. He was getting lit. So was Clyde Frazier. I mean, they had it going on.
Walt
Frazier, yeah,
he's been on their telecast crew for a long time.
He's dapper, man. He was looking sharp over there, and they got him going on. Yeah,
he always was. We need to get a photo though together of Spike Lee and Reggie Miller, because I think Reggie's coming in to work for the TNT crew, and of course we all remember what happened. What was that? 25 years ago. 30 years ago
was the year when he
did he do the chokes?
Maybe
the choke thing?
that might have been 94, but 95 is when it was the Pacers and the Knicks, and he scored the 8 points in 9 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the wackiest comeback I think that I've ever seen. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. We'll wrap up hour number 1 of Halftime right after this.
This is Halftime.
If you've lived in the River Valley for a while, you know...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
Series has been flexed. I guess this is the only weekend they can flex college baseball games. Otherwise, maybe last weekend would have been flexed a little bit. You'll get Arkansas and the Aggies next Thursday, ESPN2. The following 2 games, SEC Network. Tom Hart will be on the call. I guess that means either Ben McDonald or Kyle Peterson will be there as well. Don't have to have the plus to do it, too. That's good. That's good. So it should be easier to watch that series. Yeah, Matt?
Could it be to host a banner, to put a sticker out there?
Absolutely.
Where the hog? Okay, that's what I was thinking. That could come down to those final 3 games, huh?
Oh, no, it definitely can. In fact, it actually might come down to that. Arkansas gets Mississippi State this weekend at home. A&M, they're at Ole Miss this next week. You know, Ole Miss actually has something to play for. Somehow they've got their RPI in a position where even though the Rebels have a 9-15 conference record, they could conceivably make a bit of a run and get to the postseason. But they'd need 2 series wins, which should goose them a little bit for this weekend against Texas A&M. So hopefully they find a way to surprise the Aggies. It'll be in Oxford. Aggies just losing a series at LSU. You know, LSU hadn't been playing great either. Crazier things have happened.
I was going to say, didn't they win? Didn't they win it last year? Were they at Florida and they had to win 1 of 3 and they won that first one? Or were they somewhere else? But they had to win one. They had to win 1, and they won that very first game last year, and they ended up getting a tie with the Gators for the regular season championship.
Yeah, that's right. Arkansas. Yeah, the Hogs kind of. They lost.
They won that first one though. They did that, and they lost 2 in a row going into it. Yeah.
You know, you win this series though. You're going to. You want to win the division. You want to win the league overall. Absolutely. You win 2 games this weekend. I think you've done what you need to do for the resume to put you at top 8, no matter what happens the next weekend. Don't get swept by A&M. Win 1 game, I would say. But and so it's really just it's about being in the right position so you're playing at home. I think it's obvious they need to play at home. They're a better team at home than they are on the road. So 2 wins this weekend ought to do it.
Something to play for. It's exciting. I mean, it's why you come to the University of Arkansas and play baseball, and to these type of games that mean something. A little pressure on there, kind of get your mind right going forward. It's big time.
It's a little bit like November for football and February for basketball. It's just before the craziness gets started. You want to be playing some good baseball. Stay with us into the second hour of halftime. Alyssa Orange joining us in a little bit. Back after this.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Attention homeowners, storm season is here, and it's time to take action to protect your property. At H&H Tree Service, we've got you covered. Licensed and insured, our expert team specializes in removing dangerous trees and limbs, keeping you and your loved ones safe. Plus, count on us for thorough storm cleanup services. Our service area includes the entire River Valley and parts of Oklahoma. Don't wait until it's too late. Call H&H Tree Service at 479-227-9480. H&H Tree Service, your safety is our priority.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. No win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Oh no, what happened to your windshield?
I had an accident. I'm definitely going to have to get a new one.
You should call Mr. Auto Glass on Towson Avenue.
I have to be careful. I have all this technology in my windshield.
Technology?
Yes, things like adaptive cruise, rain sensing wipers, and lane assistant.
Well, the folks over at Mr. Auto Glass can definitely calibrate all of that for you. They are super friendly and fast. You should give them a call.
What's that number?
782-4441.
Okay, I'll give Mr. Auto Glass a call. 782-4441.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see sunshine, a chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms early. Our high this afternoon right around the low to mid 80s. Tonight, mainly clear and overnight low upper 50s to low 60s. And then Wednesday, we're looking at a few rain showers, few thunderstorms. Our high temperatures on Wednesday into the mid 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grant Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that would respect you. If I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones, man, take it to the house. The dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moth at halftime.
For one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
And into hour number 2, halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson here, my friend Matt Jones in the ESPN Arkansas studios. The C Unit, Kristen Johnston, is at the controls, and Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation will be coming up in about 15 minutes. Matt, I had to do kind of like school bus duty yesterday. Pick up my daughter and her friends at school. They're ninth graders. So they're obviously a lot cooler than you and I are. And they're sitting in the car, and I had sports radio on. That's not cool for 14 to 15-year-old girls. They don't want to be listening to that. And I want to at least, make the car comfortable for them so they feel like however long they're in the car is. I don't care if it's enjoyable, but they don't need to be miserable, right? So I let my daughter choose some music, and she put on a Drake song, and it just hit me that there's apparently like a beef going on. I don't know if you've heard about this, between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. They've been coming out with some diss tracks over the last few days or so. It's getting a lot of play. Are you knowledgeable about this beef?
Well, the thing that I know about Aubrey is he is.
I can tell what side you come in on.
He's like your boy Ryan Gosling. Both his parents are Jewish. He comes from he lived in the suburbs. He grew up in Mickey Mouse Club. He's not this gangster like he's not trapping in the cut like Young Jeezy. Like he's a fugazi. It's just he's a musician. So what are you?
He's
gonna
Aubrey.
Do? He's Aubrey. My favorite Aubrey's Aubrey Plaza anyway. So what are you gonna do? Huh? Forget about it.
I liked Aubrey O'Day. I thought she was kind of cool.
There we go.
Might still be. So I said, well, she put it on, and I said, well, I know where Sadie, what side of the beef you come in on here, and her friends in the back looked at each other, like, why is she on his side? You're not supposed to be on that side. She's a Drake fan. She likes the music. I don't know if she knows much about the beef because I saw something like a 5.5-minute video that explained it all, which goes back to Drake and The Weeknd and
Kendrick Lamar, I think, right?
Well, it was, but it went back to something happened with The Weeknd is where he started, which was one of Drake's proteges, I guess, but he kind of stole some music, and that's led to a lot of things. And by the end of it, I was like, man, that Drake is a little B. I want to start calling him Aubrey myself. Told my daughter that. It turns out, I might be cooler than she is. If you asked her two friends in the back, I think I was the cooler of the two.
Well, when they had the Super Bowl in L.A. and Kendrick Lamar's was part of that halftime show, his was the best bit. I mean, I think artistically, To Pimp a Butterfly, that Kendrick Lamar album was pretty legit. I don't have a dog, and I don't really know anything about it. Like, I don't listen to either one of their musics. Like, when I get in, I don't put, but like I heard a little bit of that Kendrick Lamar. I was like, ooh, I kind of like some of that. Yeah. But
well,
no.
I hear some Drake just because I allow my daughter to put it in the car.
Wouldn't
be the choice.
If I was choosing just on musical aesthetics and what I like, Kendrick Lamar over Drake.
Do we have any sports beefs that live up to this? I mean, we'll talk about diss tracks. I mean, Shaq and Kobe, they went back and forth at each other.
Jamal Murray and the whole officiating crew from last night. I mean, throwing the heating pad during the middle of play. Now, I don't know that he should get suspended for that, but that thing. So you touch on that. That's a pulled groin. That's a twisted ankle. That could be bad. Throwing that out there like that. Bad knee.
Is there a beef between everyone and Draymond Green?
Draymond Green. That's somebody that when he speaks, I totally change the channel as well. So I do not carry anything that Draymond Green has to say. Yeah.
One of my favorite ones was, and I was reminded of this, just, you put on videos on Twitter on this account and that account, the Roger Clemens, Mike Piazza beef that spilled out into one of the weirdest things that I've ever seen in a baseball field, which was Clemens throwing the broken bat barrel at Piazza after the ball came back, the bat came back at him. That's the weirdest one I think I've ever seen. I think you got to kind of imagine that anybody on the other side of the line of scrimmage you have to have a beef with if you're going to play football. But favorite sports beefs, anybody got one? 877-377-6963. Calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. I'm thinking of maybe trying to start a beef between Charlie and Eduardo the Sherpa.
I was glad to see that Bledsoe and Brady and all the Patriots, there's no beef in the air. It's all clear except for Eli maybe. I think they might still not like the Giants and Eli, but for the most part, it's good to see that they've squashed all the beef in the past.
Say Eli said on Twitter that he didn't want to go to this because he'd already roasted Brady twice. Oh, man. That's a winner. I mean, that's a drop. That's a mic. That's a phone drop moment. You tweet that, you hit send, you drop the phone, you walk away. Charlie, what do you think? Beef with you and Eduardo? You want to do? You want to pick a caller? Call somebody out here on the airwaves and start a beef?
Man, I don't want to. don't be putting me up against Eddie. That's my guy.
I was just saying if you wanted it. I mean, you can call anybody out you want to here. We already have
You
a
already
beef
know
between.
who's
Hey,
gonna be.
Charlie, there's a beef between two people who never call but text all the time. BE in Clarksville and JT in Hot Springs. Like these guys are bitter, mortal enemies to the end. You got to call somebody out on the phone.
Just let them go at it. Yeah, I mean, you know me, man. I'm not a huge fan of the tone Texas fan with the death. I don't even know forget what his name is.
It's our entire
Brian
listenership with Brian and Ozark, probably.
Yeah, that's like I don't really have an issue with nobody else because here, like I enjoy everybody's takes and all of it's good. So I don't really, you know, I don't have any beef really. I will say this though about the Jamal Murray thing, Matt. How you gonna beef with the officials and you just got your you know what beef?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, man. You can blame refs for some things. Like, there's calls here and there throughout the game, but, like, you don't lose a game by throwing their 30 points and it be the refs' fault. They just got their butts kicked. And I don't know about you, but, like, it's not that I'm surprised. It's just, I guess, the physicality, the fact that they are letting them play a little bit in the playoffs, I think, allows a team like Minnesota, who, by the way, was number one in defense in the NBA in the regular season, it allows them to play the way that they need to play to be successful because they got some dudes now. And I think that you commented on it the other day. Anthony Edwards, this guy prides himself on defense. I mean, he ain't just going out there to score 40. And so I love to watch the kid play. How many 22-year-olds do you know that care about defense like that? And I just think their whole team, their game plan right now, they got the Nuggets frustrated. They can blame the refs all they want. They got the Nuggets frustrated. And that's the difference in this series so far. They're just beating them up physically. Now, C-Unit, are you here? I want your Mavs to beat OKC because I want to see them play the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
I think that would be a hell of a series. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Man, just for a moment there, I thought C-Unit, he was going to call you out for a beef. Anyone got a beef with Christian has a beef with me and Matt.
That's right. I'm on C-Unit's side.
Yeah.
Well, you're on everyone's side.
That's true.
You've told me
That's
that
true.
before. It's
They,
tough you can't take sides when you're on everyone's side.
I want everybody to win, man. Let's everybody win today.
Oh, gosh. Sports beefs. You got to... Here, some of them are coming in here. Yeah, Tyson Holyfield. I mean, it looks like they put that one to bed. They've even done they've done a commercial about that. I think that might have happened before. JT's texting in saying that he and B are really just good friends. Come on, you're supposed to lean into this. You guys are supposed to lean into these sort of things. Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, that might still be a thing too. Although didn't Jimmy just make it into the Ring of Honor finally?
I think so. I think they finally let him in.
I don't know how you get into Canton before you get into a Ring of Honor. That's pretty evident of a beef. Pedro and Zimmer, according to Todd from Fort Smith. Yeah, if I was Don Zimmer, I'd have a beef with Pedro Martinez throwing me to the ground in front of everybody on a national television audience. I don't even remember what that was circling around, but Zimmer's running out and Pedro did the old Olay and just sort of tossed him to the ground. How about Tommy Lasorda and the Philly Fanatic? Did you ever see the video of Lasorda going bonkers on the Fanatic because it dumped some wet sponges on him? Lasorda versus some of his own players. Jim Palmer against his own manager, Earl Weaver. I mean, these guys had real beefs. Ted Williams and anybody who ever pitched. Is there a football beef that stands out to you? I can't think of one at the top of my head. I'm throwing out all the baseball ones.
That
Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, there was kind of a little distaste right there.
Steve Young and Joe Montana.
I would think as much as anything would be Pittsburgh and Cleveland. That's a pretty good. They don't like each other just in general. I mean, that division right there, the Cowboys versus anybody. I think Jim Harbaugh versus anybody. I think there's a lot of beef going on there.
Oh, they're coming in here. Yeah, and we've even brought this one up because he just he hasn't been inducted yet, but he's been voted into the Hall of Fame. Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan. That
was a good battle. They had a couple different times. You think of David Boston and Charles Woodson being Michigan, Ohio State back in the day, that rivalry they had going on. I think of Common's character in Jared Leto as the Joker in Suicide Squad, where he's like, "You got any beef?" He's like, "No, I ain't got no beef with you."
How about MJ and Isaiah?
You know, there's something going on there where they really don't like each other at all. Like, I think if they were
when he kept them off of the Dream Team, for crying out loud.
yeah, I don't think they're fans of each other.
Todd's on a heater here, man. Clay Henry and the Texas Longhorns. Yeah, absolutely. That one fits too. Steinbrenner and Billy Martin. How about Billy Martin and Reggie Jackson? Billy Martin and everybody. Not Billy Martin and everybody. Drunk Billy Martin and everybody. There's some people that have a beef with anyone when they've had just a little bit too much that they've kicked back. Martin had that habit as an alcoholic, so I think every night it was him against the world.
Kanye West versus the world.
Oh, my gosh.
Your boy.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, man. 877-377-6963. Calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. We're taking your favorite sports beefs. We're also going to talk with Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation right after this.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Have you heard of Arkansas?
Funny enough, when I told my mom that same day, she was like, I don't know about Arkansas. And I'm like, Mom, trust me on this one. I really trust Coach Mateo. This feels right. Like, I kind of like Arkansas. And, she ended up coming down on the visit, and she ended up loving it.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
This is Chuck Fawcett with Chuck Fawcett Realty. When I have an HVAC problem or a plumbing problem, I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940. Blaylock Heating and Air.
So to have a red truck rolling your way today, give us a call. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, and drain cleaning needs. And great York Home products. It's just one number you need to know. That's 782-8940.
Attention, this happens fast. You're on the forklift in your warehouse when it breaks down. You call Medley Equipment Company. Talk to Debbie.
Hello.
Debbie tells you they'll get you moving again. Debbie talks to a service tech.
Yep, I can do it.
Tech says when they can be there. That nice Debbie lady calls you back.
Hello.
Saying your forklift will be fixed in a few hours.
Nice.
Pretty fast, right? We're just trying to keep up because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
If you're interested in continuing your involvement in high school athletics and want to make some extra money, what better way to do so than by becoming an official? For information on how you can give back to student athletes in Arkansas, please contact us at 501-955-2500. Again, that's 501-955-2500. The Arkansas Activities Association is looking for sports officials, and you may be the answer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, I knocked to a window to leave her a note. Will you come with me at the back of the grove? All the trees were in bloom. That's the smell in the air. We were trembling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All guests join us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, and there right now is Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation. We appreciate her time every Tuesday. Alyssa, we had Mike on yesterday, even though he was on vacation. Do you have to play the
How's
part?
he doing?
Well, he's great. He sounded great. Apparently, he had just learned about
Good.
In-N-Out Burger, this brand new thing. But yeah, exactly. It's finding out. It's fun to follow him on Twitter sometimes. Do you have to play the part of the kind of like the malcontent a little bit?
Yeah, he cracks me up when he goes on vacation. And when Mike goes on vacation, because he goes back home, so he's from Morton, Texas. I'm probably sure he told you all of this. He goes back home. He visits his mom, who is in a home outside of Lubbock. So he's gone for a big chunk of time, and it's so funny because he is like, okay, well, I gotta ask Mike, and you guys got to do this, and you guys got to. And we're like, Mike, we know, we got it. He's like, no, but you gotta make sure you got enough questions to answer, and you got to make sure that you answer them. And I'm like, Mike, we got it, we're good. So Courtney and I knocked out Ask Mike yesterday, but he just he kind of old man stresses out that we're not going to be able to do it for him, and I'm like, Mike, it's going to be fine. You can go on vacation, enjoy your vacation.
Some people are not usually very good at taking vacation. I'm one of them. I just always feel like there's something to prepare for. But so Dave Van Horn says at the not the press conference, at the Swatters Club last night or yesterday, that they've basically told the players, get out of the facilities. Like, they're so used. You're an athlete, especially baseball. You're a creature of habit. And going to the facilities every day is just a part of that routine, and getting in a little bit of work, even on a day where you don't think you're going to work all that much, get in a little bit of work, a little bit of a workout. The guys practically aren't even allowed in there for 2 days. It must feel like they're on Mars or something.
Yeah, they're probably not. They are college kids, so I'm sure that they're doing something, but it's just kind of like, okay, well, what do we do with ourselves? And I think, you kind of look at it two ways, right, Phil? Like, if you are someone who is, we could use Kendall Davis as an example, just trying to get out of a little bit of a slump that he's been in offensively, what you want to be doing is getting in reps. But sometimes that's not the best thing for you to be doing. You need to go, hang out with your brother, or, go hang out with your teammates, or go play some golf or go fishing, something, get outside. But so many of them want to be like, oh, I got to go in there. I got to work on these things. But the best thing sometimes for your mind to hit the reset, which is what I think Dave's hoping these guys do, is to just get away from the game for a little bit.
Is there any, concern about what happened in Kentucky this last weekend? Starting pitching wasn't great outside of Hagen Smith. A lot of guys left on base the last two games. or do you view that series as tough road series? You did win a game, you didn't get swept. Not too much to worry about. We'll see what happens these next 6.
Yeah, I'm not bugging out about it at all. I think it's the latter, where it was a tough road series, and you knew that going in. It's unfortunate because you could have won the series, and you didn't. When you look at the guys that they left on base, and when you leave 31 players on base within 3 games, you always want to go back and be like, what could we have done? But then you look at how just teams are performing on the road in general. A&M going to LSU. I mean, it's tough to win on the road in this league, and everybody knows that. And so what they need to do is come back against Mississippi State and play the way that they play and are used to playing inside Baum Walker Stadium, and then hopefully take some momentum down to College Station, because that's going to be such a huge series to end the regular season. But everyone's panicking about the offense. So I'm not there yet because unlike a pitching staff that's really hard to turn around, hitting is something you can get out of. And it's the game of baseball where there are going to be ebbs and flows and ups and downs, and you got to just get the guys back on track. The things that do worry me is, this is a team in Arkansas that is tied right now for first in hitting into double plays in the SEC. They've done it 32 times. And that's why you're leaving guys on base. It's those timely hitting, the hitting into to double plays that are hurting you. How can you remedy some of those things? They haven't hit a lot of home runs this year, but they're patient at the plate. They're 3rd right now in walks taken, and they're 5th right now in the least amount of strikeouts. So it's not like they have a bad approach all the time. You just have to kind of get back to being comfortable in there. And Dave said it yesterday. We're not in the box with them. We can't tell them swing, don't swing. We can't tell them what to do, and it's difficult from a coaching perspective, I'm sure, but you also have to trust that your guys are kind of going to have to get out of this and get back to what they're used to doing.
So we'll go through all these conversations in a couple of weeks when we're in Hoover. Does this tournament matter? Do you even want to be here? There are a lot of fans that just lose your games, come home, and worry about the regionals. Do you view – now, I don't view it that way. Either you want to go play ball, you want to go win games. It's okay to win games. It's okay to play the weekend before you're playing in a regional. And every time you say that, any team that goes to the Sunday and the SEC championship, there are evidence of teams that have won national championships and made it to Omaha that played on the Sunday in Hoover. Do people view softball the same way? The SEC softball tournament starts this week. Is there anything Arkansas can do to help themselves move up? Because it looks like they're in a prime position to host, just not be top 8.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're going to get into the top 8. And I think the only thing, Phil, that they can do in Auburn this week, you go and you win the SEC tournament and you get some confidence back. I don't think it's going to change much. You might go from, being the 13th seed to being maybe the 11th seed or the 12th seed. So you might bump up a little bit, but it's not going to hurt them enough where I don't think they're going to fall out of the top 16 and not host. And I don't think it'll help them enough to boost them as a national seed. What this tournament needs to do is get some confidence and rhythm back, because I was more worried about that Ole Miss loss than I was about Arkansas baseball and Kentucky, because this, Phil, was indicative of what happened last year. They go into last year's regular season finale against Missouri, who is 5-16, and they lose that series. Then they lose the first game of the SEC tournament at Vogel Park, and then they lose the regional to Oregon. And now, this year, they have Ole Miss, who is 5-16 in conference play, and Ole Miss beats them. And now you go to the SEC tournament. Like, I just don't want history to repeat itself. This team needs to kind of get back on track, get some offense going, get back to the way that they were playing the past couple of weekends, because that's what this team needs. If there's anything that's going to help them, it's more internally with this team, with their confidence, with the way that they're playing heading into the postseason, than it is with any kind of rankings and projections when it comes to the NCAA tournament layout.
So as we've had all these commits coming in for men's basketball, and by the way, it looks like I think on 3 is a crystal ball for DJ Wagner to Arkansas.
DJ Wagner.
Now that he's going to be visiting, it does seem that if you visit Coach Cal, then I don't think anybody that's visited has not committed. Did Garrison visit? Was he even here?
Garrison, yes. I believe so. And I think that's like the one guy, but I said this yesterday, and, you know, that's kind of Cal's just like bring it on home move. Like, you're not coming unless he feels really, 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 really good about locking it up after you come and visit, and you're dead set on being a Razorback. And so far, it's gone pretty well.
The Dodgers have been going so far pretty well, and they got a big time guy back in 23 months. Walker Buehler, he hadn't pitched in 23
How
months,
about it?
made his start, and kind of did pretty good.
Yeah, oh man, it was so good to see. It's been so good, and you know, as a Dodgers fan, they've been going through a little bit of slump, and I know that Phil's rolling his eyes and laughing at me in the background. But it's good to see things kind of getting back. You know, Shohei Ohtani's hitting home runs left and right, which is great to see.
Buying
And
Dave
it
Roberts
feels like
vehicles.
the Dodgers have got, yeah, right. So it feels like they're kind of getting that swagger back, and then you get Walker Buehler, which has been such a integral piece of that pitching staff for so long. And you miss him. You miss him on the mound, and it was so good to see him back. So hopefully it's, you know, just uphill from here.
Speaking of beefs, Phil,
And you sweep the Braves, so that's cool.
have you seen before where the player buys the coach a car? I mean, the total opposite of a beef, right? I mean, it's just like, hey, I'm going to buy my
Right.
manager a vehicle.
Well, when you break his record, you
Fair
got to do
enough.
something, right?
Right.
So,
What
you
record
know,
of his
it's
did he
a
break?
Peace offering. So he broke. So Dave Roberts held the record for home runs by a Japanese
That's right.
player for the Dodgers. Yeah, he had 7. Shohei Ohtani
It
had
took
number
4
8.
games. Yeah, and then
I'd forgotten
Yeah.
that Roberts was born in Japan. That's right. I was like, so what record
Yeah.
could they what record could they share? That would be the only one.
There it is. Yep.
Well, and then Otani comes back to pitch next year too. So, yeah, you got a little slump. 5.5 game lead in early May, which only means that there's a lot of room to blow it. Padres are getting better. You know, they got Arias from the Marlins. So it looks like like the Padres may not have the kind of season they had the year before. So you may actually have a challenger in that division.
Yeah, maybe the Diamondback. Hey, you know, I'm not saying anything about anybody because I've lived the last couple of postseasons. So I just, you know,
Hey,
along for the ride.
Alyssa, you saw the new there've been a couple of moves on the women's basketball team. They announced yesterday Nick Bradford is a new assistant coach. Been at Wichita State, a star at Fayetteville, played at Kansas. It seems like a pretty good hire.
Yeah.
After Pauline Love went to Alabama, and now the team seems like it's getting a bit of of an international flair. You already had Phoenix Stojan, who was from the Netherlands, who was an incoming freshman, and now Pinja Pennanen, who is a 6'2", I think forward from Finland, is joining Arkansas as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to break out the pronunciation.
And
guys.
you already have Christina from Spain, and I feel like they got one more. Because we were making that comment of like, they're going international here. So it's cool to see what Neighbors is doing. Again, I think there's a lot of criticism on his shoulders right now with the way that things are going. And you just saw Samara Spencer commit to Tennessee and all these players who are leaving to go to other teams in the SEC. And so he's trying to put together a roster that can be competitive. And it's a big year for him. I don't think any of us can say that and not feel like it's 100% true, because it is. This is a team that's really kind of just going to need to turn things around and figure it out. And so hopefully all these moves and additions work in his favor.
Vera Ojanua. Again, I'm gonna need to like memorize how to pronounce these names pretty quickly. So, and she's the one who's come in from junior college. It was she's from Nigeria. So, and he said, you're looking. The NBA is an international game. Maybe with the popularity even of women's college basketball in the States and the growth of the sport. He's focusing in on high school players in the state of Arkansas and Arkansans, but casting a pretty wide net outside of that.
Yeah, no, it's interesting to see, and I hope that the strategy works. I'm excited to see what this team looks like.
Yeah, I am too. Alyssa, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. Have a great rest of the week.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you next week.
Thank you, Alyssa.
Alyssa Orange with us each Tuesday on Halftime. Pinja Paninen, 6'2" from Finland, part of the Finnish national team. She's a forward, so kind of brought in some players recently with some size. Ojanua, 6'4", Paninen, 6'2", and you got to replace a couple of players that were of that size as well, and a little bit taller, even in Miriam Dowda and in Jersey Wolfenbarger. All right, we're going to take a break. Back with more Halftime in just a moment on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. You need the Lindbergh team, home of Arkansas's only instant offer program. Get a cash offer on your home in only 72 hours. Lindbergh Real Estate Group is the #1 team in Arkansas with over $1 billion sold and voted best of the best 10 years in a row, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and now the River Valley. Find out more at lindberghteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
This is Halftime.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The Party Place has everything you need for special occasions. Graduation, Cinco de Mayo, Memorial Day, a luau, you name it.
Pre-order your balloons now for the month of May.
Mother's Day, baby showers, party supplies for 1 to 100.
Locations in Conway and Fort Smith.
Come to the Party Place. Let's party.
The Party Place in the Tuesday Morning Building behind Ashley Furniture in Fort Smith.
Get ready for your party at the Party Place.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crick hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crick hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crick hopper.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
room full of faceless strangers. Here I am again. And suddenly my eyes meet yours. Looks like I found a friend. Warms up as the night wears on. We're both feeling good. Gonna take it to the end this time. We're gonna find out. Find out. Find out. Just how true it is. Yeah. Oh, kind of love. It's like rain in the summertime. If it's a cool kind of love, and cool love.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
We're looking in on some of your favorite sports beefs now that we talked a little bit about Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. I guess I should just call him Aubrey from now on, Matt.
That's I mean, he's the Canadian, and the Canadian. It's in vogue right now. It's in fashion. It's cool to be from Canada. Just ask Jamal Murray. And,
I love Canada.
Who doesn't? I love Canada too.
I have enjoyed Canada every time I visited, and let's see, where have I been in that great country up north? Edmonton.
Are they parishes? What are they? Because they're in quadrants, right? There's like they're not states. You know, it's
provinces.
Not provinces. That's
yes.
right.
They're all provinces.
Yeah.
Been to Edmonton, flew into Calgary, did baseball games in Medicine Hat. Been to Windsor, been to Niagara Falls, and that's it. I've just been over the border a little bit, but Edmonton is, a little farther north than that, quite a bit farther north than that.
Seth Rogen's from Canada. Love his comedy. Love his humor. Yeah.
It's another Jewish Canadian there for you, just like Aubrey.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Aubrey.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a good one for you. Andre Rison versus Deion Sanders. They had like an on-field moment. They had an on-field fight. They had a fight on the field. That's a good one right there. How about Deion Sanders versus every player that's transferred out of Colorado by now?
Wow. Yeah.
How about Shedeur Sanders and former teammates?
It's going to be interesting to see if Shedeur Sanders has that Eli Manning in him, because Peyton Manning having the father, the royalty, and having the pedigree, and going forward, and already talked about certain places that he wants his son to go, certain owners and GMs that he won't let his son go play for. So that's going to be interesting next year. And I know that's probably we got the whole season to go through, but that's going to get talked about as the draft, everything gets settled in. Because I think he has 2 years left, and they talk about this next quarterback draft. It's not going to be. I mean, there's no way, right? 6 quarterbacks go in the top 12 next year.
I mean, the last time it happened was 83.
Yeah, and they said it's going to be a down year for quarterbacks. So it'd be interesting to see if he goes out, if he is the number one guy taken.
Oh, here's a good one that just came in. Colton sent this. Colton, how does Colton know about this one? Buddy Ryan versus Kevin Gilbride. Oilers coaches. Each the coordinator, Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, Buddy Ryan, the defensive coordinator for the 93 Oilers. Ryan threw a punch at him on the sideline. If I remember this, I'm pretty sure. He threw a punch at him on the sideline. And, of course, Buddy Ryan's players, like his defense, revered him no matter where he was, whether he was the head coach of the Eagles or the DC for the Bears or the Oilers that year. And they would have done everything possible to pull him away from him because they would have wanted to keep playing for him.
The Black Keys versus the White Stripes is a good one. Jim Rome versus Chris Everett. That's one of my favorites right there.
Yeah, but that's also like he should never harbor any hatred for Jim Everett, because that was the moment that sort of made Rome. He was what he was before that. But from that kind of catapult.
That got a lot of clicks. Yeah.
Here was a good one, too. Kevin in Fort Smith sent it in. If you ever get a chance, I don't know if you've ever seen this. When Lee Elia was the manager of the Chicago Cubs, he had a post-game rant. This must have been early 80s. He had a post-game rant where he went off on Cubs fans. The whole idea of the lovable cubbies, the lovable losers, the bleacher bums, and everything, just out there to have a good time and everything. I think he referred to the fans that were there, and this is before they had lights, so they played all of their games in the day, and I think he referred to them as that they didn't have jobs. That's why they were there. And if you ever get a chance, we couldn't play it on the air. I might have tried to play it on the air once. It's too many beeps to really be able to notice what it was that he said.
Bob Knight versus the chair.
Hal McRae versus the phone. McRae threw a phone that hit a reporter in the head once and got a little blood.
There was a coach that said the only person that could hold Jordan under 30 was Dean Smith, his own coach. So not that there was any beef there.
Richard Sherman versus field interview. That was Richard Sherman versus Crabtree, right? Michael Crabtree. The two of them had the beef.
Texas Tech guy. Yeah, Crabtree was good.
Brent in Searcy is here on the McClarty Daniel hotline. I'm sure Brent has beef with so many folks out there. So, Brent, do you have any beef with anybody or anyone that stands out?
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about that on the air.
Okay.
Because, I want to say thank you, Alyssa Orange, for. I hope Mike Neighbors was listening and realizes he's got to do something this year. He's got to try to keep a team together. How in the world can a head coach lose 5 girls, lose 5 men, 5 ladies off a team? How in the world?
I don't have an answer for you, Brent. They lost 3 just as the postseason was starting, and then 2 after an assistant coach left as well. Look, I'm sure Mike is well aware that he's got to put a team together and kind of start it over from scratch in some ways.
Well, we're going to see if he can coach or not. We're going to see what he and Todd Schaefer can do.
Yes, we will.
And that's all I have to say on that one. But this week in baseball, I really think we're going to take 3 from Mississippi State, Phil. We're going to take 3 of them. And all going to be right with the world.
Well, they're playing pretty well. They've won 3 straight series. Looks like they'd won 10 of 11 games before losing the final game against Alabama. They're playing well. They got guys in the middle of the lineup that are hitting, that can hit for power. A couple of starting pitchers it looks like they feel they can count on too, in Cinchi and Cowell. So I mean, you're getting a Mississippi State team that's playing their best baseball too.
But they still got to play the Razorbacks, Bill.
They sure do.
They still got to play the Razorbacks.
They got to do it at Baum. They got to do it at Baum, where Arkansas is all but 2 games.
They got to face number 33 Friday night. I believe that's Hagen Smith's number, correct?
Sounds right. Yeah.
And then, Phil, do you think Coach Van Loon's going to change the rotation up? Do you?
I mean, I guess I'd be a little surprised if he were to do it this weekend, just because Molina was coming back from an ankle injury. I know he wasn't good the week before. I know that there was even stuff that David said before the season started about Molina's struggles throwing strikes in the fall and in the lead up to the regular season. That we even remember. I remember kicking around the idea, like, how long will he be in the rotation? But I guess I'd be surprised if it were this weekend. But also, they want to keep Wood built up to a point where he can start sometime soon, which means that, like, he could end up being a first out of the pen on Saturday if Brady has troubles, But he obviously would be the first out of the pen if he doesn't pitch the first 2 days if Molina has troubles. But you got 2 weeks until Hoover. And you certainly want to have your rotation in place, like knowing what it's going to look like going into Hoover, because then you know what it's going to look like going into the regional.
Hey, Phil, when do the ladies play softball? Is it today they start, or is it tomorrow?
I don't even really know. I think it's tomorrow because I think they get a bye. So the tournament should be a little different than the baseball tournament because there's 13 teams in softball and 14 in baseball because Vandy doesn't have softball. But I think they got a bye, which means there are games today and they'll play tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Brent, thank you very much. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline.
They play Thursday. SEC Network is what 2 p.m. Phil. They were 36-15. They're ranked 13th going into the tournament. That's outside chance. You know what you get. You know you got to be kind of top 5 to win it, or do you think top 20? You give them a chance to make any noise?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I mean, I know they have a series lost to Ole Miss, but 14-10 league mark. I mean, it's a bit of a slip, I think, from last year or even the year before.
I like it's Tay-Tay's number. There you go. It's the year of Tay-Tay. 13 might be it. That might be the sweet spot where you want to be right there.
Very well might be. I got a sweet spot for you if you're making plans over the summer for trips with your family and you're thinking about buying an RV for your family's adventures. They've got the right RV for you at Crabtree RV Center. They've been doing it for over 70 years in Alma at the junction of I-40 and I-49 beside the Cracker Barrel. They definitely have an RV that's going to fit your needs. Just head over and they'll take you around, or you can go online to crabtreerv.com. And they got the service and parts department on site and everything else that you need in between at Crabtree RV. Stay with Halftime. We'll wrap up our second hour in just a minute.
This is Halftime.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Can you explain the infield fly rule? Neither can I, but I can help you navigate a variety of legal issues, from divorce to personal injury to estate planning. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, a new law firm offering affordable flat fees with payment plans available. You get an ace at the price of a minor leaguer. Now that sounds like a grand slam to me. Call Mock Legal Solutions for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Got a pest? Call West. If you have pest or termite problems in your home, call West today and learn how their 50 years combined experience can help solve your problems with competitive pricing and quality services, all designed with your pets and children in mind. Call today and schedule your free estimate. They even offer Saturday services and long life attic pest control. Call 782-7291. West Termite and Pest Control, protecting your home health and peace of mind.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Get your fishing gear ready for the 34th annual Judge Greg Ray Memorial Tri-Lakes Big Bass Festival, sponsored by the Sevier County Chamber of Commerce. Saturday, May 25th, Memorial Day weekend. Get your fish on at either Dirks, DeQueen, or Gillum Lakes. With over $30,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs. And there'll be a special $10,000 reel-the-weight prize on each lake if your winning numbers match up. Go online, SevierCountyChamberOfCommerce.org for an entry form. This ad paid for with state and regional funds.
Looking to step up your Mother's Day flowers? The Home Depot has an idea. Let Mom's Green Thumb do some digging with colorful flowers, pots, and premium soils to bring out the most in her patios, walkways, and gardens. Right now, get Figaro potting soil just $8.97 for strong, healthy, vibrant plants, indoors and outside. Shop our wide selection online and pick up your order in-store and give Mom the gift of a beautiful garden. Get Figaro potting soil just $8.97 at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. See HomeDepot.com/delivery for details.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. You have the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Flashcards, fake knives, real ketchup. Cardboard, cutthroat, cowboys, information,
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Back on halftime here as we wrap up hour number 2 with the thought, Matt, that do you realize, I think with Layden Blocker and Devo Davis now officially committing to other teams, Arkansas won't have any Arkansans on the men's basketball team next year. Pretty sure about that. Now, we said that would be a possibility, you know, if Muss were to stick around.
What about that white kid, number 45, who's
Blake
a walk-on?
Lawson Blake?
Yeah. Does he count?
Is he going to play? Is he going to get on the court?
Well, if he's playing, one of two things are happening. We're either up by 20 or we're down by 20. So I'd like to see him playing. If that means that, yeah, well, there's one. So you're saying there's a chance. They got one. Hey, you know, each coach, different whole thing coming in. There's some young talent in the state. That's for sure.
I think he's recruiting Arkansas high schools. It's just this next year. I don't think you're going to have any.
We'll see how it goes. Maybe that's the recipe. I highly doubt it, but maybe it is.
Ryan in Fort Smith, thanks for calling the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Ryan, what's going on?
Hey, first off, Matt, I've got your jersey hanging in my office right above my desk. You got me watching Arkansas football, so thank you.
Woo, thank you.
All right. Anyway, so Arkansas baseball is my true love. First off, McIntyre, is he getting tired? I can't figure out what's going on. Second thing is Souza not able to hit the breaking ball. I think that's all he's been getting the last about 5 at-bats he's been there. And I'll hang up and listen.
I don't know with McIntyre if it's a matter of tiredness. I just think it's a cutter that hasn't necessarily operated the way that it had been, whether it's being tired or just hasn't commanded that one pitch well enough. I don't know if I'd go on the tired route right now. He did look really good on Friday. Didn't look very good on Sunday. As far as Souza is concerned, yeah, I mean it isn't just breaking balls. I think he's been caught between speeds because they've been sneaking some fastballs past him too, and he really has troubles against lefties. You know, you get a chance against a lefty that had reverse splits Saturday, that lefty Nyman that they threw, allowed like a 330 batting average or something to lefties. So although Souza's really struggled against lefties, they gave him the start that day, and he struggled in that game too. I just think with Nolan, I think he's just very hot and cold. He just seems to be streaky, and hopefully that's something that two things. One, that means that there's probably another hot streak left for him this year, and hopefully you catch it at the right time. And two, hopefully you can smooth that out a little bit for next year, because when he's on, he's one of the best hitters in the conference. When he's off, it's been really, really tough for him when he's been off. 877-377-6963, calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline when you want to get in on anything I just brought up or anything else we're kicking around, which includes your sports beefs, your music beefs. I guess it's usually like a What's Your Beef Wednesday or something on the Morning Rush, so they'll take care of that stuff tomorrow as well. Either way, Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio joins us in about 20 minutes, and halftime is right back.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization.
Back on halftime into hour number 3. Phil Elson along with Matt Jones and the C Unit, Christian Johnston producing. Got you for another hour before Ruskin and Zach take over. Calls and texts come in on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963 for calls and for texts. It's a very interesting little thing that's gone on here. Arkansas football has gained a commitment from a 28-year-old former Major League Baseball player, Monty Harrison, who last played football at Lee's Summit West High School, is now committed to be a preferred walk-on for the Razorbacks as a wide receiver. He lives in Kansas City. He played 50 Major League games with the Marlins and the Angels, former second-round pick of the Brewers from 2014 out of high school. And, I mean, we're in an era right now, Matt, of the older college athlete because of the COVID year. And now you got your oldest player on the team here in Monty Harrison, 28 years old, 10 years of professional baseball, and now he's going to be a Razorback preferred walk-on wide receiver.
I haven't seen any single thing about him, but I'll just say this already. He's playing out of position. Let's go play on the defensive side of the ball. You're 28 years old for sake, for Pete's sake, and you're playing against high school. Go hit somebody over there, like be 28, be a man. Get on the defensive side of the ball, young fella.
6'3", 225.
There you go.
Sounds like somebody that could deliver a hit.
Hey, 6'3", 225. You could bring him in off the edge. He could be a nickel guy that could help support the run. The thing is, though, I joke honestly because you either have to want to hit or you either got it or you don't. Defensive players are different. If he doesn't want to play it, he can't. That's like your boy. Not DJ Khaled, but the DJ for North Carolina State. That the big.
There were two DJs.
Yeah, well, you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, the big power forward.
He could play. Yeah, DeJuan Blair looking dude. He could play professional football for a decade, but he doesn't want it. Same thing with this kid. If he wanted to play the defensive side of the ball, be an athlete. Tells me he's an athlete if you can play in the big leagues for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, no, he played parts of 3 years in the majors, but had a 10-year pro baseball career, included the minor leagues. But that is sticking around for quite a while. And if you get to the big leagues, hey, you can play the game. It's just tough to stick up there. His brother played in the NBA. I mean, it's a real athletic family, man. You got a guy that's going to play big. Now, who knows how often he'll get out on the field. He's a preferred walk-on, but I think that's also going along with the idea that in your contract, when you are signed out of high school, usually that goes along with the idea that the major league team that drafts you will pay for your college when your career is over. So that's got to be part of this. So he's a preferred walk-on because he doesn't cost them a scholarship anyway. He wouldn't have cost them a scholarship. I think it would be the Brewers that's paying for his school. So this is interesting. I mean, he's big. He's big. He obviously has good habits. If he played professional baseball for 10 years. But here's the other thing too. Like, he wouldn't have any eligibility to play baseball. Wouldn't that be interesting? Guy that played big league baseball, go play college football and baseball at the same time. But yeah, it just doesn't work that way.
I saw the coolest one where J.R. Smith, if you remember him, he came straight out of high school, one of the last guys to do it. And he got done playing, and so he went and played for a school and got to play on the golf team under scholarship because he had never played that sport. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was UNLV, I think, is where he did that, right? Pretty sure. Chris in Springdale reminding me about Dion, Bo Jackson, Jeff Samardzija. Those guys played baseball while they were in college, right? I mean, those weren't guys that they didn't go back and play. Samardzija, he chose baseball, Dion and Bo chose both of them.
Carnell Lake, was he a guy that played both? Did Hines Ward played? I know he played a little quarterback at Georgia. He didn't. He's athletic enough. It wouldn't surprise me if he played a little baseball.
I think Kyler Murray played both.
His dad was a guy too. Yeah, that got drafted.
But I mean, so Kyler Murray chose to play baseball. Chose to play football. He had the first round pick both ways here. It's a different situation. Like a Chris Winkie, he went and played baseball, and then came back to college. How old was he when he won the Heisman?
26?
Yeah, it was like this. It's different than being the two-sport athlete that played both sports in college. He was committed. This Monty Harrison was committed out of high school to play baseball and football at Nebraska, but he decided to go play minor league or professional ball, and so that's the end of that eligibility. He couldn't play both. It's a little different. It's just the idea of having. I mean, he's a grown man. There's a difference between somebody that's 28 years old and has been through the ringer of what professional baseball is. Like after 10 years of that, and you've been through two organizations and everything that goes into it, you take a different perspective on what the locker room is like in college. Though, I know a Major League Baseball locker room or clubhouse and any sort of baseball clubhouse is going to be a little bit different than a football locker room in this case. But just kind of interesting to see this announcement. Well, I was saying announcement. It's a story in the Democrat by Richard Davenport. Monty Harrison, former Major League Baseball player, committing to Arkansas football.
Let's go. There we go. I like it.
Well, you can say let's go baseball and mean let's go football.
Well, you're 28 years old. You're an athlete. You have to think there's going to be some place out there for him, whether it be special teams, whether it be certain packages, being in the slot, if you're using them to block, if you're using them to get mismatches on some guys. So it'd be interesting to see how it pans out.
Just it's learning to play the position again, too. Is this like riding a bike? He hasn't played football it's been 10 years. I guess it would be 11 years because he had the 10-year pro baseball career. So it is a different game than it was 10 years ago, isn't it? But he'd be going up against guys who are a lot younger. This is a really intriguing story. Very intriguing story. And looking through, now this isn't a transfer. This isn't a guy that's transferring because he had not been enrolled in a college.
He's got 5 years. He could be 31 years old if you want to.
He could be 32. He could be 32 years old and playing a season, a fifth year at Arkansas. You don't redshirt somebody at 28, do you? Hey, take a year, relearn the position again.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll set him down. See if he can help you play. Obviously, you put him out there.
It's that's not one that I would have expected. They just brought in a receiver from South Florida the other day, Khafre Brown, who 2 years had almost 500 yards receiving. So brought in. Those are the only two wide receivers that you have committed now. But I mean, how much are you going to expect to count on somebody that hasn't been through spring ball, hasn't played the sport in 10 years, and will just kind of be reacclimating himself to everything that it takes once August camp starts. So, but it is something that I'll be paying attention to. Vince Bradford is a name that Gary in Fayetteville texted and said he played linebacker here at Arkansas after playing baseball in the Tigers organization. So I guess we do have an example of this occurring at Arkansas at some point before. I don't know when Vince Bradford played at Arkansas, but
I think there was
somebody that's done this.
There was a kid named Brody Croyle from Alabama that was in my recruiting class.
I remember Brody Croyle.
So he was in my recruiting class of 01 and went and played baseball. And then I think he came back and played football 7-8 years later up there. I don't think he ended up playing much. It's tough. I think it's tough to get back into it. Brandon Whedon was able to do it at a high level. Chris Winkie, like you just brought up, but I think you have a lot more Drew Hensons than you do, which, what are you going to say? He did play for the Yankees. He did his thing, but he never was able to catch on and be sustainable anywhere.
Michigan, right?
He's a Michigan guy. I think so, yeah.
I remember that one.
Because Brady went to Michigan, and he actually played both sports as well. He was a catcher, I think, when he got to Michigan, yeah.
Did I read? I think he was drafted out of high school.
Brady was? Yeah. I thought so, yeah.
Dan Marino might have been drafted out of high school, too, knowing full well he wasn't, because, you just kind of knew.
I'll never forget hearing Alex Rodriguez was third-team All-State quarterback in Florida, and so he played a little baseball as well. Did you see they had a clip of Anthony Edwards playing football like in 8th grade, 9th grade? He looked like, if you ever seen Allen Iverson playing football, the clips, I mean, Michael Vick, he looked like he was 3 years older than everybody else.
Iverson was like a Michael Vick playing football, wasn't he? Just like a cheat code that could just change directions like nobody's business.
I mean, this is quick first step. They had to change the rules in the NBA when Allen Iverson got in. You could not stay in front of the kid. You could not do it.
I don't know if you've seen the videos of C.J. Stroud and Micah Parsons were throwing. They were in Japan. I don't know why they're there. They threw out ceremonial first pitches together at a Tokyo Giants game, and it looked like they'd never thrown a baseball in their lives.
I saw C.J. Stroud throw. You're like, whoa, he's a professional quarterback. He's got to get his footwork with it. He's doing all arm. You got to kind of you got to manage it up. But I saw Parsons getting a sumo wrestling ring with a mid-size. It wasn't a gigantic or whatever they call them over there. It was a miniature junior Milky Way, but he got in there on them. I guess it'd be Almond Joys over there. What would they be? But he got in there and held his own.
It's like a little Japanese version of Nacho Libre for him. But watching C.J. Stroud, the way he threw the baseball looked awkward. Parsons, I just this is potentially the best defender in the entire NFL. And look, throwing a baseball is the kind of motion that football players generally don't have to do. World-class athlete. It just didn't look like it when he was throwing a baseball. That's all.
Yeah, it's like watching Mohamed Salah play basketball or Cristiano Ronaldo. You're like, that's a world-class athlete, and he doesn't even know how to dribble. It's like, whoa.
I just kind of wonder what it would look like for some baseball players to try to kick a soccer ball properly. It might fall in their backsides.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Quick break here on halftime before we talk with Bill King. Remember that the best Tex-Mex and better service is at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Every Friday's Fajita Friday, featuring charbroiled steak and chicken, tender, full of flavor, comes with all the extras. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce, and Taco Tuesday is today. That's $1 beef or crispy chicken tacos all day long. Joe's Grilling Cantina, great Tex-Mex, better service, 3400 South 74th, right across from Harps. You can put in an order online at joesfortsmith.com. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio joining halftime after this.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
Attention homeowners, storms are firing up quickly and widespread damage means thousands are reaching out for the right roofing company. Don't wait. Get on the schedule with Shamrock Roofing and Construction now for quality and peace of mind. One call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100. Need a new roof? Shamrock Roofing and Construction can have you covered right now for as low as $139.99 with approved credit. For quality and peace of mind, one call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, call 479-319-5100.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
All of the children are grown up. How do we spend our lives if there's no one who lends us a hand? I don't stay. If I promise you and start what you believe, can people play in the middle of the night?
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, let's get to the McClarty Daniel Hotline and the one and only Bill King joining us from Nashville Sports Radio. He is the king of college football talk. He hosts 6 to 9 WNSR, and we appreciate your time on these Tuesdays. Bill, how you doing?
Hey, guys. Doing good.
Good, man. Hey, we just had a very interesting commit for Arkansas football. Preferred walk-on named Monty Harrison, who is 28 years old. He's played 3 years of Major League Baseball, 10-year professional baseball career. Hasn't played football since he was a star in Lee's Summit West. And he is a preferred walk-on at Arkansas. Maybe they would have had a scholarship for him, but one of the big league teams he played for is going to pay his schooling. So that was one that it's be an interesting story to follow moving forward. And he's definitely the oldest player on the team.
I've seen that work. Chris Winkie had some age on him when he got to Florida State. Kelly Washington played baseball, and about 4 or 5 years after that came to Tennessee and was an All-American wide receiver. I've seen that work.
Do you think this might be a little more in the norm, Bill, when you have kids, if you have a son, he's 16, 17, he can play multiple sports, and with the earning power right now with the NIL, if college base, I mean, if professional baseball is kind of interested in you and going to take you high enough, doesn't it make sense to maybe kind of go that route for a couple years, because you can come back. I mean, I don't know if you remember J.R. Smith, who just went and played college golf. He played in the NBA, came straight out of high school, played in the NBA for a decade.
Yeah, I think that's a good pathway. If the money they're throwing out there right now, baseball, I think it's getting it time. I think you're probably going to be more apt to come back to football than take a bunch of years off baseball. I'm just guessing now. I haven't really thought about it. But I've seen more of I took the baseball money, I gave it a shot, I grinded, it's over, and they still want me as a football player, I'm coming. I've seen that work out.
I'm sure you've seen the report from Ross Dellinger about the potential settlement that the NCAA and the member institutions are, I think, negotiating with players through a class action. And just there's so much about this that you could get into. And one of the things that I looked at is that it could potentially, you're going to change the way that college sports operates completely, and the relationship between the athletes and the schools. But I also saw where this could, baseball's a lot different, and we've been on the 11.7 for God knows how long, but it looks like you could be in a situation, if this all happens, where scholarship limits go away and it's up to the conferences and they can do what they want. You could have a full 30 players for scholarship for baseball. And that feels like that would be a real game-changing thing for that sport specifically, because they've always been behind all the other sports and scholarships. And even in the day of NIL for baseball, scholarships will mean a lot.
It's 11.7 for 32-man roster. You can't have, I believe, below 25%. You can't jip them that bad. But according to the futuristic look of things, if you want to add scholarships in baseball, full scholarships, you can do it. What schools will want to do it? Arkansas will do it. Tennessee will do it. LSU, LSU will do it. A&M will do it. Florida will do it. A bunch of schools in this league will do it. And what it comes down to is it's probably going to be a $300 million 10-year hit on most schools, to the tune of about $30 million a year. Now, 21 of that will be player salaries, athlete salaries. Some of that can be deducted through insurance as well. But and the SEC and the Big Ten is going to be bringing in 80 to 90 to 100 million bucks. They'll be able to handle it. But there are some what you would call P5, even though we don't have a Pac-12 anymore, that aren't going to be able to do it. So with your conversation about additional scholarships in baseball, I think you're going to have drop sports as well.
Yeah, that's the thing that most everybody is kind of wondered about, if that would be the case.
Yeah.
Another thing that you'd have to work into this, and I know that along with whatever the settlement is they're really going to do everything they can to try to get Congress to pass some law that helps them operate a framework. Roster stability seems to have to go. Now, NIL and the transfer portal work hand in hand, but there's going to probably need to be some kind of mechanism put into whatever the next structure of college athletics is, to at least provide for a little bit of roster stability. And I'm not exactly sure how you go along with that, but just look at the case of Arkansas just also got a new offensive lineman who had played junior college football and then transfers to BYU in January. Now he's just transferred to the Razorbacks, and he was at BYU for 3 months. He never played a game for him except the spring game and everything. I would just imagine that's the kind of thing that that may end up, being legislated away.
Guys, I think the chances of Congress caring about that topic are about the same percentages as Vanderbilt winning the SEC in football this coming year.
So he's not even saying there's a chance then, Matt. That's what he's telling me on that.
Bill,
there's always a chance. But from the movie, but that's
Hey, Bill, I was looking at some of this. Arkansas, we get A&M coming up in this series after Mississippi State. But I was looking around the country and trying to see other teams. I think Phil said once in the last, 8-9 years, a team from outside the SEC's won college baseball national championship. Give me two teams you like not in the SEC, Bill, that could win the college national championship this year in baseball.
Boy. We had one year, remember Coastal Carolina not that long ago, the last 10, 12, 15 years, they won it. I'm not picking them, even though it's a very good program. How about the East Carolina Pirates? I haven't watched them enough, guys, to give you their lineup. It's a very good team. Apparently they've got a first-round draft pick pitcher that everybody in America would want if they could get him. I'll throw them out there, and I don't know if I can go. Oregon State's got a kid that is going to be a top 5, top 10 pick. And maybe you would throw them. They've got a history. Remember, in what was it, 06, 07, they won a back-to-back. One of those years we took my show out there when Oregon State was winning the national championship in Omaha. So maybe those two.
Well, so another thing on baseball, I thought about this, that the college football now has passed the communication in the helmet, so we're not doing signs anymore. Now, maybe you'd seen the comment from Jim Schlossnagle, the A&M baseball coach, recently, that he said this in a very friendly setting at a Texags podcast, that there's a baseball team in the SEC that has, in his words, a, quote, live feed from the visitor dugout, unquote. He's calling somebody out without calling somebody out. And when people looked at some of the numbers, they thought it might be Arkansas. I kind of tend to believe that he might have been referring to Vanderbilt. But, that's the kind of thing. I wonder, we just dealt with the sign stealing scandal in football with Michigan. Now, baseball these last couple of weeks, you had the Georgia pitcher that was, you could say caught, but nobody did anything about it, putting something on his glove. I think at some point we're going to get to the place, Bill, where there's, like in Major League Baseball, where they're checking the pitchers when they walk off the field. But I just kind of wonder, who is it Schlossnagle was referring to? And, I don't know if anybody's asked him about it since.
Did Vandy play A&M?
They did, but it was at College Station. So, okay. And they got, I think they got shut out in a couple of games there. And Vandy's got a big difference between home and road numbers and everything, but I don't know. It just felt odd that for him to toss that out there. I wasn't quite sure how it was that he felt like somebody could cheat.
It wasn't Tony Vitello. His team's hitting about 320 on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, they hit no matter where they are, man. They really do. They hit no matter where they are. Hey, before we let you go, we brought up there's this music beef going with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. So we were kicking around some famous sports beefs, and I just thought about, is the greatest college football beef Bo Schembechler and Woody Hayes? Was there one any better than that? I know in Arkansas we've got Arkansas, Texas, and the coaches, but they were great friends. Schembechler and Hayes was a different thing.
I would think so. I would definitely think so. There was a brief overlap, I believe, of Barry Switzer and Darrell Royal that got ugly, involved Oklahoma spying at Texas. A wealthy alum booster actually played like he was a construction worker. There was bad blood there, but I think Woody and Bo sustained better. And even when Bo died on the eve of the Ohio State-Michigan game later in life, he was arguing about Ohio State-Michigan to his grave. I think that's probably the one. Yeah, I think that's the one.
All right, so what do you think about the, what is it called? The Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. It's the brand new bowl game, I guess, that Barstool is going to be broadcasting. It's just got a funny title. It's fun to say.
I mean, why not have a cannabis sponsor? If we're going there, just go ahead and keep going.
Well, now that it's been reclassified, I will guarantee you that is coming down the pike at some point.
Yep.
Oh, gosh. Bill, we'll leave it there. I appreciate you hopping on. It's always fun talking with you. Bill King.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Here,
Thank you,
Nashville
Bill.
Sports Radio.
30-30 mid. Isn't that the drink in the Texas drink?
Which one is it?
It's like you get it at the. I've never had it. Is it called 30-30 mid?
I don't know.
It's a. Well, I'll get back to you. I'll figure it out. But maybe that could be the sponsor of the Gin and Juice Bowl.
Oh gosh, man, it's Cutwater. At some point, we'll probably have to sponsor one too. They got to, they got to have an answer.
Yeah,
they got to have an answer for it.
Barstool Sports and High Noon.
Absolutely, yeah. The Bro Bowl, of course. It's exactly what it would be. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. Whenever the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice is played, I'm going to guarantee you they've got odds for it on the Bet Saracen app. And they've got NBA playoff games, NHL playoff games. Tuesday's a busy day in college baseball in the SEC, of course, college baseball weekend, and the NBA draft coming up soon, too. It's all available on your Bet Saracen app when you want to put a little wager on any of that. Bet Saracen is right there on your phone. You can download it for Apple users on the App Store, Google users, Google Play, and any web browser, betsaracen.com. Stay with us. Halftime's into the home stretch, and we are right back.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. You need the Lindbergh team, home of Arkansas's only instant offer program. Get a cash offer on your home in only 72 hours. Lindbergh Real Estate Group is the #1 team in Arkansas with over $1 billion sold and voted best of the best 10 years in a row, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and now the River Valley. Find out more at lindberghteam.com. LIMBIRD.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Tommy Craft for the Fitzman. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
Dozy Place has an
now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Doe's Eat Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Attention homeowners, storm season is here, and it's time to take action to protect your property. At H&H Tree Service, we've got you covered. Licensed and insured, our expert team specializes in removing dangerous trees and limbs, keeping you and your loved ones safe. Plus, count on us for thorough storm cleanup services. Our service area includes the entire River Valley and parts of Oklahoma. Don't wait until it's too late. Call H&H Tree Service at 479-227-9480. H&H Tree Service, your safety is our priority.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Way back when in '67, I was a dandy. Sweet things from Boston, so young and weird. Moved down Wisconsin, where the hell am I?
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Just saw a video of the newest Arkansas wide receiver making a home run saving catch in a AAA game a couple of years ago. If you can rob a home run, it's like if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. If you can rob a home run, then you can probably outleap a cornerback or two for a pass near the sideline, especially at 6'3", 225. He can get up, Matt. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I think you got to be pretty excited just about seeing that on paper. You know, I haven't seen the kid play. You want to watch him play in practice, no question about it, but we all know the difference between an 18-year-old and a 28-year-old. It's night and day, night and day. So hopefully you bring a veteran locker room presence in there, somebody who knows how to do it the right way. You're not watching the movie Frozen before the game. You know, maybe we're going to concentrate. It's game day.
You know what, though?
At least give me game day. You know, I know the kids nowadays, but you got to give me game day. The 4-6 hours before the game, we got to focus up a little bit better.
That was the walk-on locker room, right? Where Frozen was happening. His preferred walk-on.
Well, it was the Tom Hanks Polar Express. Yeah,
that's what it was. It wasn't Frozen, but
Yeah.
it was close enough.
Same thing. It's not what we do on game day. That's just not what we do. It's.
Shannon and Clute wants the Cheech and Chong Bowl. Hey, look, if you're doing a bowl game that's sponsored by Snoop Dogg and Dre, there has to be a Cheech and Chong Bowl. It probably should be in San Francisco.
We'll say the Houston Mid 2020 Bowl.
It was Mad Dog 2020.
The Houston Mad Dog 2020 Bowl.
Yeah, when are we getting the Boone's Farm Bowl?
Yeah, there we go.
To be played right there in the middle of Missouri somewhere. Yeah, everything that makes you sick, just make sure you get a bowl game named for it somehow. I don't know. 877-377-6963. Calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Devin McClure is a name that was sent in, played pro baseball and Razorback football. So, and we get a couple of instances of somebody that came to Arkansas after playing professional baseball and played football.
Speaking of guys that have played both up there, how's Connor Nolan doing? Where is he in his journey? Is he, double A, triple A? I always thought he had a chance to be a player eventually.
Well, let's see here. I'll take a look for you. He is in Knoxville, Tennessee, and is a starting pitcher for the Tennessee Smokies. If that's still their name, it should be. 2-1, 456 earned run average over 5 starts. So that should be making about 1 start per week.
He's
That's about right.
Right on track, right on course. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how he's viewed as far as like being a prospect is concerned. But he's so the thing about Connor would be a thing that I'd say about Monty Harrison. It's just there was something about Connor Noland that was he just came across as somebody who was like a pro, even in college. Just the way he went about his business and took care of it. There was just a professional mentality to it. And look, this is different than a guy that just played a little bit of baseball that's coming to play at football at Arkansas. I mean, he reached the pinnacle. Doesn't matter how long you played there. You got to the big leagues. Like that demands a certain level of respect. Not like you just, bow down and kiss the ring and all of that. It's just you're walking into a locker room filled with kids, really kid. You just called Monty Harrison a kid, and to you and me, he is. I mean, he's quite a bit younger than you and me. But to the guys on that team, I mean, they're going to call him Grandpa, right?
Gramps.
But he also made it through the ringer of pro ball to actually get to the big leagues, and whether he's stuck or not, that's an achievement. That's something that any one of those kids in the locker room is there at Arkansas, like hoping for that opportunity in the NFL, but I view the NFL and Major League Baseball as the same pinnacle of achievement. If you make it to the NFL, if you get in the like how many games did Monty Harrison play? What did I say? 30? What would that equate to in professional football? If you played 8 professional football games, I don't care, dude. You made it. You were there. You got the game check. You got the full game check and everything. And that kind of, I just feel like that demands a certain level of respect. Not be in awe of him, but maybe pay attention to how he goes about things. Because that hopefully that rubs off a little bit.
Watching films a little different, but your study habits, tendencies, you'd want to be, you'd want to have your locker next to his, and be able to glean as much as you can from him. I think having a veteran guy, 28 years, I mean, should be a player type of coach and have that type of feeling about it.
We've been taking your sports beefs as we've gone throughout the show today because of Aubrey versus Kendrick Lamar. Will you wait, Matt? Wait until I see my daughter later today and I call her favorite rap artist Aubrey. She'll disown me or try to, or just run into her room and slam the door and tell me she'll never talk to me again.
Well, there's I don't even know who. Yeah, I couldn't tell you one of his songs. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm sure if I heard it, I'd be like, "Oh, that's a Drake song."
I know Hotline Bling, but that's I think everybody knew Hotline Bling.
Okay.
Other sports beefs. Let's see. I think it's pretty obvious. There was one with Samara Spencer and Talia Scott. That kind of came out in the open on TikTok, messages back and forth to each other. So usually you picture like the beefs are going to be between like guys that are on the opposite line of scrimmage, right? Like Andre Rison and Deion Sanders,
Rudy Gobert and Draymond Green.
There you go. Well, sure.
He choked. I mean,
choked him out.
Yeah.
Latrell Sprewell and PJ Carlesimo.
Woo! Seton Hall's finest.
Too early? No, never too early. What's another one I can think of here? Oh, Adorable Adrian Adonis and Rowdy Roddy Piper. Who remembers that one? How about Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Randy Macho Man Savage? Do I remember Macho Man Savage taking the bell from the ring, climbing on top of the turnbuckle, where he used to do his usual elbow drop from the top turnbuckle, but instead he brought the bell down on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's throat. Like I remember, this was back when I cared about wrestling so much. And what was wrestling all about, Matt? Beefs.
Theatrics.
Just beef after beef, and just settling it in the squared circle. Between 2 people or maybe 4 people or maybe 6 or maybe 32.
Yeah, King of the Ring, Rumble in the Jungle. They have the cage match. That was the scary one. They're going to lock you in the cage.
I I never got a chance to see a staple match live, though. I was told about a staple match.
You've seen The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke?
Yes.
And that's when they start stapling, you're like, oh, but that's pretty close to right on what they were doing.
Well,
Yeah.
I've heard about it from a guy who was named Puppet the Psycho Dwarf, who was a midget wrestler before a Travelers game. And yeah, he explained to me on an interview. Heck, I could play it for you at some point. I've got the MP3 on my laptop. When he says staple gun match, I had to stop him at that moment because that wasn't the story he was getting into. It's like, hold on one moment. You're not going to have to explain this to me. Staple gun match?
You getting paid by the staple? Is there $30 a staple? Maybe then you're into it, but if it's 3 cents a staple, I don't know.
I got a box of 5,000 staples right here, Matt. That's a lot of money you're talking about. That's a lot of money that you're talking about. And I got to say, I'm a little disappointed because you've been playing. Our songs today have been from what, 1981?
Most of them, yeah.
I thought we would hear a Hall & Oates song.
We did. We hit the Hall & Oates.
Which was the one? Did I not hear? Was I not paying attention?
You Make My Dreams. Yeah, you were. I think you were up. We played the You Make My Dreams, Hall & Oates.
Now there's a beef that's come out in the open in recent days, right? In the last 3 months, the lawsuit. I think it's Daryl Hall suing John Oates over intellectual property, and now Oates coming out and saying they're never going to get back together again. I thought they were bros to the end.
Liam and Noel Gallagher. Noel's the Man City fan, so I'm on his side. No.
Yeah, but I don't have a brother. I wouldn't know what it would be like because there's got to be that kind of sibling
Well, at a time,
rivalry
isn't
to
it
begin
like
with.
we got to get over it? What's the how long's it been? Time helps heal, but it's like, come on, what's I don't know what the beef is, though. That's the thing. I don't know if we know the truth.
Do you remember Where's the Beef with Aunt Clara, the Wendy's commercials?
Hot Tub Time Machine. He's like, what color's Michael Jackson?
Anybody out there will remember Where's the Beef? I think I played that for Ty when we were doing halftime homework. And Aunt Clara with her two friends, as they open up the world's largest bun to show the world's smallest burger. And then all of you out there that are listening right now, and you remember it, go ahead and say it with me. Where's the beef? That was exactly it. Yeah. Roger Waters and David Gilmour. There's a good one. The Pink Floyd guys. Yeah. How about Steve Perry and all of Journey? I think they've had one for a while. How about the Eagles? How about the Eagles with each other? How about Fleetwood Mac with each other? And especially with who's the guy they fired? I forget who it was that they fired, but it was the main singer. Aaron Rodgers versus family. See, yeah, there's plenty of beefs. Beefs for everybody, even if you're a vegetarian. All right, we'll break here on halftime. Time to wrap up the show. We'll do that in just a moment.
This is halftime.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
We love our backyard. This year, we added an outdoor kitchen. We couldn't wait to show it off, but what happened? Mosquitoes. Basically, we did all this work for them. Instead of providing food and entertaining our guests, we became the food. We wasted all that time and money on a yard we couldn't even enjoy. Then, we called Mosquito Joe. After just the first treatment, Mosquito Joe gave us our yard back. Now, we're the favorite neighborhood hangout. Mosquito Joe makes outside fun again. Visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
What's on your to-do list today? Does it include looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? If so, come by and see us at Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer. Whatever your day brings, whatever job it is you need to complete, Wacker Newson Equipment is up to the task, and Sharp Equipment is here to help. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Oh no, what happened to your windshield?
I had an accident. I'm definitely going to have to get a new one.
You should call Mr. Autoglass on Towson Avenue.
I have to be careful. I have all this technology in my windshield.
Technology?
Yes, things like adaptive cruise, rain sensing wipers, and lane assistant.
Well, the folks over at Mr. Autoglass can definitely calibrate all of that for you. They are super friendly and fast. You should give them a call.
What's that number?
782-4441.
Okay, I'll give Mr. Autoglass a call. 782-4441.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
We had a couple of good sports beefs come in here. This qualify because it's not even a real thing that happened, but Happy Gilmore versus Bob Barker. It's a good one.
Zoolander versus Hansel.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
Old Members Warehouse.
Average Joe's versus
Globo
Gym.
Yeah. You're a dinosaur. You should know where that is. Members only jacket, huh?
There's always going to be Happy Gilmore and Shooter McGavin. I mean, that was actually more of a rivalry than him and Bob Barker. It's one that lasts even until now.
The Alligator and Chubbs. Yeah.
Oh, man. Now you just made me sad.
Both of them, yeah.
I'm pouring one out for Chubbs, even all these years later.
Mid-2020.
Mavericks and Thunder, 8:30 tip-off.
Big game. Big. The first one, the Thunder, number 1 overall seed. It's gonna be an interesting series. How healthy are the Mavericks? I like some of the Mavericks pieces. It's gonna be see how they match up. The craftiness, the veterans. It's a young man's game, Phil. Luka plays like an old timer down at the Y that's going to drop. He's going to drop 35 on you and not really break a sweat. And then Kyrie's still in his prime. I mean, if you're watching that dude get up and down the court right now, he's moving as good as he ever has.
Cavs and Celtics, Game 1,
4-0
TD
or
Garden.
4-1.
Yeah.
4-0 or 4-1. Yeah. I
know
like
that-
Spida. I like Donovan Mitchell. If you get a chance to watch him play, he's a lot of fun, real athletic. He's all they got.
I was looking at Luka. How old is he? He's 25 years old, but he plays like he's 35.
Yeah.
What is he going to play like when he's 35?
Well, he's a cerebral player. He's like the Joker, where he goes at his own pace. He's a Jerry Rice. He's a 4-6 guy. He's never going to run a 4-4, play above the rim, but his eye-hand coordination, he excels, and he's elite at a lot of different areas.
So then this is a day without Champions League. We had a Go Dortmund text come in
Dortmund
earlier
and
today.
PSG today. Dortmund's going to really rue the day that they missed their last game. They missed a couple setters and
They're
could
going
have
to
had
be ruining. They will rue.
Yeah, they're going to get beat today. They're going to rue their chances they had in the last game in the first leg, Phil. They missed a couple setters that they could have made. PSG going at home, you have the best soccer player in the world in Kylian Mbappe. I think they're going to score 3 goals today. I got PSG going through.
Well, they can rue, and you can woo, of course. Because that's what we do about 5 times a show. Good to be back with you guys for halftime today. We'll do it again tomorrow with Clay Henry and Grant Hall. Make sure you download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out shortly, thanks to the C Unit. And Ruskin and Zach are standing by to take you for the next few hours. For Matt Jones, for Christian C Unit Johnson, I'm Phil. No beef with any of you. Thanks for listening today. That's halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.